Hello and welcome to another StageDesigner tutorial. In this tutorial we're going to talk about StageDesigner Tracks, how to use them, what's their concept, and some basic and default settings for them. Basically, to understand the tracks, you can think of it as a mixer that we have available to mix different media together and send them to our output. We've already talked about the layers and how we have different layers available to mix different media together and send them to each of these tracks, and then mixing these tracks we can send the final signal to our render. So basically, if I play any of these clips, the clip is going to be played in the active track and the first available layer, and that is the default value. Of course, we can change that. If we go to placement here, we can change it instead of active track to track 1 or 2, and the layer we can change as well, but as default they're always on active track in first 3. To know the active track is the one with the red box around it. So if I want to change the active track, I can just click on another track, and if I play this clip now, it's going to be automatically played in the second track. I have a fader basically between the two tracks available here. I can activate or deactivate them, which means if I change this value, it's not going to be changing the other one, but if I want to chain them together, I can use this activation or chain here to connect the two fades together. If I don't want to use the simple fade, I have some other fade options available here, which means I can use this different fade effects to use instead of this. There's multiple different type: push right, fade, circular, push left, so on and so forth. And I can basically use this faders to fade between the two tracks or to mix them in the way that I want to and send the final result to my output. There are some default values that I can change with the tracks. As I said, as default there's always 2 tracks. I can change that by going to settings, windows, and here the track tab, and here I can change the default number of tracks from 1 to 4, which means if I don't want to use any of these tracks, I can just simply go to number 1. If I want to have 4 tracks, I can go to number 4, and then I would have 4 tracks, and inside each of them 8 layers available. I have to notice though that there is an R in front of this option, which means if I want to activate these changes, I need to restart the software, and then the software is going to be activating these changes. So if I want to change it now, I need to restart the software, and then I'm going to have 4 tracks available. That is basically how to understand the tracks and how to work with them, and some simple and basic default settings for it. I hope you're enjoying using the software, and hope to see you in another tutorial.